if I hit the record button. So let me rephrase what I just
Yeah.
said. Hi, YouTube. This is the second session of the gang campaign of Cyberpunk Red. This campaign is one of three that are running in a shared universe using the full rules of Cyberpunk Red now that they're out. Now, what that means is that the actions of one group in Night City could end up affecting the others. It also means that the events of the Extra Lions game have sort of carried over to the shared Night City. Now, what I would say about that is you don't need to have watched any of my other content to enjoy this game, but if you do want to play catch up, the VODs are available on YouTube and most of the popular podcast solutions. I don't really have much in the way of announcements this week. Again, I'm still working on the special intro for this group. I'm thinking 2 weeks from now. It's taken a little bit longer than I thought, so maybe a couple weeks from now we'll have a shiny intro. But with that said, let's just have each of our players quickly introduce ourselves, and then we'll get started proper. So let's start with you, Celadon.
Hi, I'm Celadon, and I'm trapped in cyberspace. I play Phoenix, the Netrunner for the King, and yeah, it's been fun so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of shenanigans we get up to today.
Very nice. Napalm, what do you got going on?
Hey, I'm me. I play Imago. Like previously mentioned, it's been going great so far. Can't wait to see what happens today. Fingers crossed, not gonna die. On to the next guy.
What you got going on, Hex?
I'm Professor Hex across the internet. I play Duke the Rocker Boy in this campaign, and I recently hit some people with my car.
That you did. That you did. Food, what do you got going on?
Yeah, hi everyone. Food. I play Teflon, our little group's fixer. Uh, Looking forward to cutting some deals, making some profits, and hopefully putting some cash in the rest of the team's pockets as well.
Very nice. And last but not least, Cal.
Hey, I'm Calevra. I'm playing Judge, the group solo, and yeah, from a high vantage point, I'm deadly.
That you are. That you are. All
Mm,
right, so today's session is going to start similarly to the first one, but just a little bit different. And by a little bit different, I mean that for once in this godforsaken city, it is not raining. So the birds are
Hooray.
outside, or, well, there would be birds if it wasn't Night City. So maybe there's some sort of like speaker that just does bird noises just to annoy people. Point being,
How dystopian.
yeah, point being that the sun is out, there's only a few clouds in the sky. It's a fairly nice day, all things considered. And we sort of start today's session in your apartment. You all have just recently woken up. You have stuffed your face full of what I'm assuming is kibble, and you're getting, sort of your feet underneath you for the day. So we sort of start with you all in the sort of main living room slash dining room. I sort of imagine it like your first floor has like the kitchen and then sort of this wide open area before these sort of 2-story tall windows that look out onto the glen. And you all are in sort of that big old common room at the moment. We're doing this because I believe, Phoenix, you have something to tell the others about a
Mm,
certain NPC that was introduced at the end of last session.
indeed. So Phoenix will kind of just be like the two things is that she's got a hold on that teddy bear and she's kind of looking over the note over and over again and kind of just like hemming and hawing over it for a minute or two, and then she kind of looks at the group and is like, all right, so long story short, she's mostly Borg, but she's also got a lot of really older tech that I think like everyone would really love to get their hands on. And I'm real honest when I say that I kind of feel sorry for her because, well, the way it went down was we had this job that she wanted us to do. There was this food truck that was going through Little China, and it was like high court food. So we're talking like real steak, real ramen, actual non-rad fish. And the idea was we were just going to take out the truck. Well, it also turns out that truck was taking food to the super carrier. So when we got there, not only did we end up in some sort of crazy impromptu drift race, but we also ended up meeting up with Yansha Arasaka. And a lot of rockets. There was a lot of rockets.
Talk about burying the lead.
Yeah. Well, Boss was involved with her.
Who is Boss?
Boss is... It's kind of hard to explain. She used to be part of a group that was Arasaka led. Like, they funded this rock group. And her and Yansha were a thing. And some of the higher ups didn't like that. So they did what they could to forcibly split the two of them up. As we sort of got together, Boss's group and me kind of met, and we found that there were a bunch of leads that kept leading us in weird directions. We got set up, we got hunted down, and eventually we ended up in Little China, and lo and behold, there was Yansha. And so when we dealt with the convoy, Arya was there as well to try to help us take everything out. But when it really came down to everything mattering, Boss betrayed everyone. She listened to Yansha, and they flew off together, along with Arya's arm, which was also a Militech prototype shield arm. A lot of it wasn't fun to deal with afterwards. But Arya's not really that bad. In fact, she's got a lot of good leads. And she's got ties to the old net, which is pretty rare. All I know is that she's heavily anti-Arasaka. And every lead that she was able to get us was valid. I feel like if we give her a chance, then I think we can really make some good money. And I know that maybe not a lot of people have fans within Militech, and she'll kind of look over at Judge. But, she's also hella anonymous. I don't think that what she was doing was feeding back to Militech directly. I think a lot of what was feeding back on those drones was feeding back directly to her. Which, if that's the case, then that means she's got more gigs. And I'm pretty sure we can make a really hefty amount of money if we were able to join forces with her.
Well, she sounds like, given the history, that she's a liability. I mean, no matter what risk, what money we could possibly make, we might get fucked at any point by Militech, by the Arasaka, anybody.
I mean, that's fair, but you really gotta think long-term, big picture. Anybody can get us fucked. And she kind of just, like, slaps at Teflon's arm.
Yeah, we all know how the stories ends when you meddle with corpse.
Yeah, I get lots of tech to sell, and I get to get a bigger house and eat good food. That's how those stories end.
Yeah, well, it's easy for you, Sam. The rest of us, we got to work.
Yeah. I'll get you a sponsorship deal and you can sing the praises of the co-op every time you go on.
Oh, fuck off.
Sell out like you know you're going to. Just get it over and done with.
All right, you can walk to your next job then. How about that?
Oh shit.
I always thought Tin Machine was kind of a little overrated. Wait, what were we talking about again? this whole time, by the way, Imigo has been sitting on the couch with his feet propped up on the flimsy coffee table. His agent next to him, no earphones, and just blasting MF Doom. And he kind of just hit the pause button. And he's just like, what's your face? Who are we talking about again?
The classical artist, MF Doom.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wait, he's still alive?
Oh my
We're
God.
talking about Phoenix's contact, Arya, right?
Oh shit, Arya.
Yeah, apparently she can get us job offers, but at the same time, we could be snatched out of the sky by a fucking Militech, a drone at any moment. So
Well, I mean,
swings and
yeah.
roundabouts.
I mean, that's kind of us right now, because we kind of did just kind of steal their shit. So, I mean, a little late to say, oh, we don't want to get tangled with Militech in it. I'm just saying.
Well, there's a difference between, showing up at the front door and then lobbing a flaming bag of shit through their doorstep.
So let's do another back door.
Just leave it on the doorstep and ring the doorbell.
All right, this metaphor's gotten away from us a bit.
It has. I'm
Look,
not going
all
to
I'm
deny
s-
that.
all I'm saying is that at this point, I still trust her. I mean, generally speaking, as well as you can trust a large
2-time backstabbing corp.
7-foot shark board.
No. Trust is a limited commodity these days, and if you're vouching for it and you're willing to put your ass on the line, I can say we give it a shot.
So, like, from a literal standpoint, how's this gonna look? We're gonna just call her up, we show up, and then we get shot? Or is it like we have a secure line or something?
Out of
So,
character.
out of-
What
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
so-
Does
say.
it have a card?
Out of character, there is a number you can call that was part of the letter that was in that box you guys smashed last session. You have
Yep.
no idea whether it's a secure line, a dummy line. You have no idea.
That's why
I mean-
I have disposable burner phones.
Hmm.
I was about to say I could always just program some security protocols really quick and then run the line through that. Either way.
Well, I'd say we find out what she wants,
Sure.
what she can offer. I don't trust corporations at all.
I'll take the easy route and I'll just see if I can't get a burner phone from you, Teflon.
Oh, you can have mine. I toss you one.
Alright. Either way.
Oh, Nokia, vintage.
3310, you know it. Built like a brick.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Phoenix, you enter in the number, and maybe there's that moment where you're just hesitating with your thumb over the call button, and then you press it. And I have a very important question. Are you putting it on speaker, or is it your ear only?
For right now, it'll be just me.
Okay, your ear only. So everybody else, you're only getting Phoenix's side of this conversation. So, it rings once, twice, gets to 3 and 4, and you're starting to wonder if they're actually going to pick up. About 5 rings in, you're almost about to hang up and just call back later. On the 6th ring, you do hear a click, and a voice, a very familiar voice to you, Phoenix, answers and says, "Ah, Comrade Phoenix, how are you doing today?
Hey, Arya.
I understand you smashed my box, as it were. Wait a second, that means something different to you, I think."
She kind of just like chuckles a bit and is like, I mean, if you're offering.
Well, maybe later. It has been quite a while since I last heard from you. How have you been doing? I understand you are with new group.
I'm doing well. And yeah, I've got a new gang that we're kind of just doing stuff with. After, the boss incident.
Well, we do not dwell on such incidents, especially because I have lots of RPG. You know what is not important? What is important is that I actually have a lucrative job offer for you.
Sort of figured as much.
Well, I say lucrative, but I think it is more of a team bonding one moment. And you sort of hear her rummaging in the background, like pulling through what sounds like a metal crate of just random metal objects. Like, it's a loud rummaging. And
I'll just kind of like hold it away from my ear for a minute. I'm pretty sure everyone can hear it.
yeah, everybody can hear it easily. But after a moment, she comes back online and says, why don't you put me on speaker? I will say hello to group.
Sure, and I'll put it on speaker.
All right. So when you all hear Arya, it is in a somewhat pseudo-Slavic, pseudo-Russian accent, mostly because that's just the voice I gave her and we've run with it.
We ran with it.
But she kind of doesn't wave, but you almost hear a smile in her voice as she says, hello there, new people. I am Arya. I guess you could say old acquaintance of Phoenix. I have job for you. Is not with me or Militech specifically, but I understand you have very nice con apt, and it would probably be good for you to be able to afford such thing. Yes?
We're listening.
Very good. I have number of biotech representative. His name is John Smith, so we know it's not his real name, but that is the name I was given. John Smith is apparently in charge of a reference forest. You know, Biotechnica's sort of, hey, we grow trees here, lots and lots of trees. And he's looking for security gig. I hear it pays actually fairly well. Pays you about 2,000 ebb per person. You get free room and board while you are on site. And as long as you are able to protect these trees, you get an in with Biotechnica, which is always a good thing.
Okay.
So, what's the catch, then?
Well, the catch, based I understand, is that you'll be in backwaters Northern California with basically no connection to any data pool or really any tech whatsoever, and you will be slumming it from what I understand. There is, how you say, a fire watch tower you would be residing in during your stay there. Not exactly best place for technology.
Right.
What about gear? Will that be provided?
That is sort of others' minor catch. It is whatever you lug out there.
How long are we talking
Yeah.
here?
My understanding is you would be on site for about a week.
So let me get this straight. We're gonna go to a forest to protect some trees for 2,000 per person. Yeah?
That is about right, yes.
And are you the one offering the payment, or do we have to speak to this Mr. Smith?
I can give you a number for Mr. Smith, but if you name drop me, I believe he may be more willing to take you on. He is, how you say, a paranoid type.
Okay. Well, let's have the number.
Arya,
We
of
can,
course, gives you the number.
Whether we call it or not is obviously still to be decided. But you know, a week in real trees. I understand that's supposed to be good for the psyche, if nothing else.
But, well, when you say protect, from what exactly?
That I'm not sure. Honestly, it seemed like a very odd job, but knowing what I know about Phoenix, I thought it was ripe for picking, I believe is expression.
I'm sure that Mr. Smith will give us more details when we speak to him. But certainly. And what exactly are you looking for from us?
Well, let's
in
just say
return?
at some point in the future, I will call upon you for a service, and you will deliver that service. I, of course, will compensate you for said service, but just know that you owe me one.
Okay. the way of the world. I'll scratch yours. Especially this.
You got real quiet there, Food.
I went, way of the world. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours at a later date, especially if you're still putting the eddies in my pocket.
Yes.
Dutchy's just holding his head. He knows where this is going.
Well, I will let you all decide what to do next. Phoenix, by the way, I had you remember my friend in the cave?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say I've had her working on special program. I will sell it to you for good price.
Oh,
I will send details at a later date.
seems good.
And then there is no goodbye, there is no ceremony, the line just goes
just
dead.
sort of just end. Yeah.
Kazakhstan,
Right.
for sure.
You could tell.
No, I don't know.
You don't know a lot of things, Imago. Come on.
Hey,
Actually-
all right, I'm a chemist. Keep that in mind.
Did you actually go to school, or is this an
I-
elaborate ruse?
Yeah, I went to school.
All right, so
Ah.
clearly something's up with this. Something stinks, but what doesn't with any other job we do? It's not like we can pass up the money.
Speaking of which, did we ever actually divide, and kind of point to the stack of cash in the corner?
I mean,
Did we ever divide that?
not formally as such, but yeah, everybody should have gotten, what was it?
900 eddies a pop.
900. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's right there. Take your stack if you want.
I think it's safer here. Considering we're going to what, Northern California?
Yeah, it's not like there's a, it's not like there's a fucking Ecotech store you can buy anything in.
I haven't been up NorCal in a long time. Ever, actually. You guys ever been up north?
No.
Mm.
Hey, look, you're the doc. I understand living out in the woods is supposed to be good for you.
I mean,
Especially these new super trees that Biotechnica
yeah, it's great for your health, but the lead flying at you on guard duty, not so much.
Fair.
Speaking
This is
of
Biotechnica. I hate to say it, but it might not be lead that's flying.
speaking of things flying through the air, though, Teflon, your alarm goes off on your agent, and you look at it, and you see that you have about an hour and 30 minutes before you're expected to be somewhere for an arms deal.
Ah, yes. Yes, well, let's see if I manage to get what I was after in the first instance to be able to sell, shall we?
So yeah, sort of to both let Teflon in and let everybody else knows what's going on. So the arms deal, quote unquote, is actually going to take place in the old combat zone, i.e. the very first combat zone that the rest of the other combat zones all sort of grew from. Apparently we have a very plant-themed episode. What you know is that you are meeting two leaders of two gangs at Jesse James Kosher Deli. It's not really kosher, but the name sounds good, so they just keep running with it. If any of you besides Teflon want to roll a local expert here, I can give you more information about the deli. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you guys a very broad overview of what it is. And again, we're doing this just to get everybody, in Roll20, looking at your sheets, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those
I
areas.
can't make a streetwise roll, you say?
You could. I just figure, I wanted everybody, if they so wished, could roll for it as well.
You said local expert?
Local expert or streetwise, I think either really could apply here.
Well, who's got the, who's most
Okay.
streetwise among us?
It's probably Teflon.
Probably me, which is
It
why
ain't me, that's for sure.
I'm waiting for others to roll before I roll, so that I don't sort of.
I have never been out that way.
It's a 15 for
I mean,
Phoenix.
Yep.
20.
It's a D20.
Oh, an 8. Yeah, Judge, you have no
Judge
idea.
doesn't know shit.
You don't know shit. Yeah, you're.
Where? What?
Eh?
Oh. You go for it, Food. Go ahead and roll yours, because I think it would be very funny if you somehow rolled less. Okay, you crit.
There we
You
go.
know what's going on.
Polar
There it is.
opposite.
Exact
Well done.
opposite.
There
well
it
done.
is.
Yeah.
All
There it
right.
is.
So, and this is, so that's a 28. So, just imagining what I say next coming from Teflon. So, what you all know about Jesse James's Kosher Deli is that it's kind of this really popular hangout for both nomads and boosters. And it's not really so much a deli as it is almost like an Old West style saloon. Obviously, it's not made out of wood and there's nobody playing a piano in the corner kind of a thing. But what you also know is that the body count that goes on here is pretty substantial. Like, it's not uncommon for fights to break out. It's not uncommon for people to get shot in there. Very turbulent place, but that's probably best you're going to get in a combat zone. The other thing, since you crit, what you do know is that for a premium price, you can actually get legit corned beef on rye.
Oof.
Mm.
That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's premium.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else disturbed
Uh-oh,
by
he
the
froze
presence of a
mid-sentence.
deli in a combat zone? Like, who's the poor motherfucker shipping out deli slices to a literal hellhole? Like, I wouldn't take that job. UPS isn't going to take that job.
They're probably making it in the combat. There's a lot of these urban gardeners and stuff.
It's legitimate corned beef.
My
You don't
guess?
ask where they came from, but it's
Walking
legitimate
pork.
corned beef.
It's legitimate in the sense that we're a legitimate business organization.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, anything's corned beef if you put it in a tin that says corned beef. Could cap some poor motherfucker, shove him in a can, serve up to people. They wouldn't know the difference.
How did you graduate?
Also, I thought we decided not to talk about afterlife.
All right.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
my bad.
Just saying.
I'm really
Lord.
Bastard,
glad
man.
you ever went to school.
Never went to school. I mean, you're probably not wrong.
Hey, Kuru. That's my answer to that. Disease you get, prion thing. Tax your brain. It's why you don't eat flesh. Well, human flesh, anyway. I'm not going to talk
Right.
to you about pork.
So, Teflon, are you expecting? Are we all supposed to mount up and ride over there?
If you guys want to tag along, you're welcome to. But basically, shouldn't go too. I'm not expecting things to go too badly.
In the old combat zone.
In the old
Well.
run, it's my kind of
Something safer in the belly of the beast. Something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my kind of place. But you're welcome to come. Yeah. Hey, you never know. You could become you could become the difference between me winning the body count lotto and not.
My God. I mean, do you legitimately think going in and doing a deal is going to cause a body count? Because if that's the case, then we need to have a conversation about how you do your deals, Teflon.
No, I don't believe that me going in and doing this deal is going to cause a body count.
All right then.
Not immediately. Maybe an hour or so later, but that's them's the breaks.
It's just a bad neighborhood, terrible schools.
And ultimately, cutting these sort of deals is what keeps the gangs on my side and means that when we need someone, they're there.
So, you
Well.
want to go alone then?
Well, if we're doing this, I call the back right seat. I'm not taking the bitch seat again. The middle's for losers.
That car is a beautiful piece of machinery, and there is no place inside the gleaming metal chassis that could be described as a bitch seat.
I don't know, man. You sat back there. It's kind of bumpy.
Yes, on many occasions. I'm having the upholstery fixed.
I don't know. The rubber
Can't
chickens
argue
didn't
with
seem
that.
to complain about the undercarriage, so seems good to me.
Yeah, you didn't park it in the same spot, did you?
No, of course not.
Ah, good.
So
Yeah.
we're just gonna have a very interesting transition because you guys get geared up, you get into the car.
Yeah.
Duke, you turn over the engine and it runs. Everything's fine. But I don't know if you've ever had the quote unquote pleasure of having something stuff in your tailpipe before. Also phrasing. Let's just say when you turn on the car, imagine there's like an entire crate of rubber chickens, like a whole big old crate. And somebody has taken a giant weight and just pushed down and then pulled up and ran away really quickly so that everybody in the Walmart can hear rubber chicken. That is what happens, and that is what is coming out of your car's tailpipe right now.
Skrrr.
I will ash my cigarette out in the tray in the front, and I will very slowly, very quietly get out of the car and go to the back to witness this
This is
next
glorious.
level prankery.
Mm-hmm.
That's glorious.
So is there just a giant rubber chicken stuck in this tailpipe?
Oh yeah, yeah, with a
Okay.
note actually, and the
Okay,
note
well, let's-
says,
Let's
Another
establish
note,
that
excellent.
Let's establish that I've already turned the car off temporarily.
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
So the note says, "Nah, I'm just gonna fuck with you as long as you're here, newbie. Get used to it." Still no name, still no indication of who this person is, but apparently you have someone picking on you.
Secret
Better than a pipe
admirer.
bomb.
I will I'll yank the rubber chicken out of the tailpipe, and then I will, with as much fury as I can muster, chuck it at the building.
Okay. So you throw it, it hits a wall, it goes, and you've gotten rid of your rubber chicken.
I will
So much
then-
phrasing.
I will then point sort of myself at the building because I assume this person's nearby. Either they live in the same building or they're getting an eyeful from a nearby rooftop or something.
I mean, they could
And I will
probably hear it
just-
all the way, across the glen. So
I will just, in the manner of, what's her name from I Know What You Did Last Summer? I'm just going to be like, fingers up, like, what do you want from me?
I love it. All right, with that little bit of silliness out of the way, we're going to sort of do a transition as Duke drives you all to the old combat zone. Now, as I said earlier, the old combat zone is the quote-unquote seed from which all other combat zones sort of grew. And what that means is it's almost a strange juxtaposition between old sort of ruined buildings and somewhat new sort of gang-controlled buildings. If I had to make a comparison, almost imagine what Chinatown looks like, the upper side kind of Chinatown, and what the actual sort of Asiatic slums would look like. So there's sort of a odd mixture of the two. But when you arrive at the kosher deli, what you notice as you all get out of the car is two things. The first is that there are already two gangs sort of not squaring up outside, but there's definitely gang members sort of eyeing each other very shiftily. One group you do recognize. They are the albino alligators. Apparently they survived that whole confrontation last week. The other group, you sort of just see they have the silver star on denim jackets. Probably means they're the Silver Star Gang, knowing what gangs go for in Night City. The other thing that you notice is that there is someone actively being thrown out of the bar. And this person is forcibly ejected by a very large sort of bouncer type individual. And the bouncer shouts, "Hey, next time you come in here, you better actually play some god-fucking good music or I'm gonna kick your ass even further." And the rocker boy or the musician sort of bounces on the concrete a little bit. starts to stand up, and then the bouncer literally takes their keytar and just beams it into their head. And the rocker boy just kind of takes it well, but you could definitely tell as he grabs his keytar and starts walking away, or I guess stumbling away, dude probably has a concussion easily.
Oh,
Better luck next time, mate.
You want a new gig? I can land you that while we're here.
This is not exactly my crowd.
You don't know till you try.
Oh yeah, no, totally not worried about the weird kosher deli having a place for you to play music or
I
make
mean,
some extra
Johnny
cat
Cash
side
played
cash.
prison.
Who?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a long story. It's really
Some
long.
people just can't. Some people just can't appreciate the classics.
Yep.
So Teflon, this is your deal. Would you be actually doing the deal just outside the salon, or saloon? Would you be doing it in the saloon, outside the saloon?
Oh, inside.
Okay.
I've always worked in
The salon.
All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different for the stream's sake. I was originally going to be doing these 2 NPCs myself, but I did offer my players a little bit of an incentive to sort of roleplay the NPCs for me. So for the next sort of scene, we have Cal is going to be doing Special K, the leader of the Silver Stars, and Professor Hex will be doing Bruce, the leader of the Albino Alligators. So Teflon, when you and the rest of the group sort of walk in, you of course see that this is what was once probably an 812, basically an old convenience store, but they've taken out all sort of the rows of shelving and put in just boxes and crates and sort of haphazard bits of equipment just to sit on and put your drinks on. But waiting for you in the back right table is 2 beefy individuals. And I tell you what, I'm going to let Professor Hex and Cal tell us a little bit about their NPC characters here. Let's start with Cal. So tell us a little bit about Special K. What Special K got going on?
Special K is completely bald, but kind of shaved. He's got tattoos, luminescent as well on his neck, and he's wearing a shirt button up right at the top, and it opens up, moving down. And clearly, it's somehow bulletproof. You can tell, and he's a Latin American. He's a Latino, and he's sitting in the booth, relaxing, smoking a cigarette.
All right, Professor X, tell us a little bit about Bruce.
Okay, Bruce is a somewhat short individual. He's probably like 5'6" or so. He's wearing a sort of a kind of Slavic style like tracksuit. The ones with the sort of the stripes along the side and everything.
Nice.
But it is it's the color of like an oil spill on concrete. It's got that kind of like shiny, sort of reflective, luminescent kind of quality to it. He has a sort of a short crop of hair that's in like it's a faux hawk, I think is the term for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something short down the center. And he has got 2 tattoos underneath both eyes. One says le, and the other says sur.
So yeah, Teflon, that is who you see when you walk into the bar.
Teflon, not a problem. These are his crowd. He just wanders on over, tips his hat off, chucks it into the middle of the table, and slides in, or crate, and slides onto his crate with his carbon fiber hand, just sort of tapping and like, yeah. Hey, Bruce, good to see both of you. So, we all ready to get what we want out of this?
I should hope so, otherwise I would not waste my time being here.
Dale, cabrón. Got places to be, man.
Yeah, just make sure your boys don't kick off outside. It'll throw out my bet. I want to win that lottery tonight.
That depends on you, mon ami.
Hey, let's get down to it. Bruce, You know full well you got that crate in the back there that you just can't make yourself. But what you do need, especially after the dust up I heard the other day, is those medical supplies that Kay over here can provide. So let's get down to business. You all know what I'm after. I'm the middleman. I'm here to make sure that you guys don't get screwed by anyone other than me, probably. But hey, you know, that's why you pay me.
Right. Come on, let's see the merchandise.
Okay, will you get your boy to bring in a sample of the medical gear?
Yeah, la tengo aquí. And
And
he
you
just pulls it out and shows you. This is buenos painkillers, hermano. They will help you. You know, we got them off jacking one of those fucking ranger troops transports. And you know, if we can make a good deal here, maybe we good, and you know, our boys don't have to fight. Yeah.
I'll say Bruce takes a look at the weapon, which we already established was shotguns, right?
Yeah, so
Bruce
basically
is selling the shotguns for the medical supplies.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So you know, he'll point out the Silver Stars are buying these shotguns, right?
Correct.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. Okay.
Yeah.
Bruce will point to that weapon and say like, this is very effective. Blow a hole in a man, no problem. Pretty cheap and no heat. So you shouldn't expect any rangers or PD to come after this.
Where did you get them?
It's the trade secrets.
Okay, munición, bullets. Come with part of the deal.
Yeah. I got you sorted. Each shotgun come with 5 solid and 5 shell.
¿Qué vamos a hacer? What we're gonna do with that? 5 shells.
Hey, it's 10 shells.
10 shells.
That's 3 reloads.
So, how many shotguns are we talking about?
Well, this is where we need to get into some hustle with Bruce and me as to whether it's 10 or 12.
How
many are you selling, my friend?
Well, it depends on your budget. Yeah, I was initial offering was going to be 10, but if you need the extra firepower, I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement.
Sí, amigo. And how much do you want for 20? With 50 shells each.
Let's see here.
So,
I'm looking at 1,000 of these.
Entonces te damos. We can give you.
Guys. Let's get real here. These shotguns, yeah, they're good. They will put the rounds down range, but they ain't the best. You got to admit, they ain't the best of quality. Don't try and put a con on this one. I tell you what. So you want 20 shotguns? We can do 20 shotguns. That's not a problem. You want 50 shells? We can do 50 shells. Not a problem. But let's be real here. Okay? That's why you guys have me. I tell you what. Bruce, I'll take those shotguns off your hands now. And I'll give you a good deal on them. And I'll give you a good deal on the medical gear. This way, everybody gets what they want. I'll give you a good deal on your medical gear, on your medical stuff, Kay, and I'll sell you the shotguns. That way, everyone gets what they want, and nobody feels they're getting ripped off by the other guy. That way, I make everything worthwhile. Sound good for everyone? That's why you bring me in. This is what I do, guys. Don't go to war with each other over stupid poison.
I'll say that from under the table, you can hear a pretty loud cocking noise.
Mhm.
And Bruce says, well, I am altering the deal. Why I do not alter it further.
This is the point where ELH just sees his notes for the session, just starts ripping them up. He sees where this is going.
Oh, Christ, come on.
Hey, cabrón, ¿qué haces? What the fuck you doing? He pulls out his gun as well.
And I think it's one of those things where, almost in stereotypical fashion, once the two leaders pull out their guns, everybody in the bar, even if they're not involved with either gang, just pull out their firearms, pointing them at random people. And it's just like, it is a Mexican standoff to end all Mexican standoffs where everybody's just pointing weapons at everybody else. Even the bartender's in on it. He's got a big old 12 gauge that he's just like going between, different people at the bar.
Like an old school fucking pump action. Just
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're just like,
So,
well,
this could go very, very wrong. But
you got a gun pointed at you as well, Teflon. By the way, you
Hang
trying
on.
to fuck me?
This could go very, very wrong. So we've had Bruce cock a shotgun underneath the table. Teflon's like, look, whoa, guys, enough is enough. And as he's saying that, he's putting his hands up, enough is enough. And he just reaches out and then he's going to grab Bruce by the hair and just smack his head down as a pop-up very heavy pistol just folds straight out into Special K's face.
Okay.
He's like,
Put that in the
face,
mouth.
silly buggers. And that's all. It's not trying to kill anyone. He's not trying to hurt anyone. He's just trying to get both of their attention and go, yeah, we'll play this game.
I think we could just let that happen. I think we don't need to really do a roll for that.
all right. That seems legit.
I mean, shit, I was going to offer to patch up with these guys, but this is way better.
I know, right?
So, stop being an arse. You know that you ain't gonna get 1,000 apiece on those shotguns. Don't even bother with that crap. I'll take the whole lot off your hands right now and you can walk away. Or you can pull the trigger and see whether you make it to the door. I'm willing to bet you don't. As for you, Kay, put a gun in my face? Come on. How long have we been working together? How long have we been doing stuff together? You know I ain't gonna rip you off. Put that gun down and let's get back to business.
He
And
takes
with
the gun
that,
off your
just,
face and points them at Bruce.
Bruce will he'll take a moment to sort of wipe his bloodied nose, hawk a big sort of blot of blood onto the sawdust covered floor,
Mhm.
and he will light a cigarette, take a drag. If I did not like you so much, Teflon, this would have gone in a very different style. I'm willing to abide by this deal as long as you never darken my door again. We are done professionally.
yeah,
through
until the next time you need something.
I see you again. I have my boys cut you up like so much charcuterie.
Until the next time you need something that you can't get out of.
He looks at it like a fellow goon, and says, "Let's get this over with."
All right, so Teflon, we're going to do something a little bit special here. I'm going to let you actually do a roll here to see how much Teflon actually profits from this deal. Because again, you're the middleman, you're just moving merchandise. So
That's the
I would
idea.
like you to roll me a D4, and then you're going to times that D4 roll by 200 ebb, and that's how much cash you are able to get on this deal.
Time for that critical failure.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so you're actually going to get 600 ebb in your pocket from this little deal.
Nice.
Nice. that actually worked out at almost double what I would have made in the way I was planning on doing it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Well, you're not accounting for our cuts as bodyguards, labor, and surcharges.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
100 ebs, right?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
We'll see.
So yeah.
Driving and security, you know?
Yeah, I just want to rent car.
Where
Don't look at
exactly
me.
were you? You're no good at security if you're not there.
Oh no, I imagine they were there just pointing
We
guns
were
at one
just
another.
watching,
Like they were
yeah.
there. But
And
yeah.
of course, Phoenix is just sitting in the corner eating a sandwich, just being like,
Yeah, this is a thing.
Special corned
is-
beef.
"This is normal."
I wouldn't trust that corned beef if I were you.
I mean, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to eat something delicious. Come on.
Exactly.
How far can you throw it?
Nice.
So whilst all of this is and that's going on, I'm going to sidle over to the bartender
Mm-hmm.
and go. I understand you've lost your live act. My man over there, he'll rock this place.
What, the David
God.
Bowie looking motherfucker?
Yeah, that's the one.
He a poser or he actually legit?
Oh, he's legit. He's legit.
Hey you, David Bowie motherfucker, come here.
Teflon, I swear to Christ. And he'll just walk up to the bar.
I'm making you your money.
So what do you play exactly? Anything I would know?
Well, I usually do a few classic rock guitar tracks. I can throw in a little bit of, what do you people like? Country and western, I guess?
Nah, fuck no. We just want something that isn't shit. Last guy that was in here, swear it was like a yowling cat.
Well, I
Oh.
can assure you, I've never touched a fucking keytar in my life, so that's a step back.
All right. So, Duke, there's one of two ways we can handle this. Either we can do it as you are actually using your role ability, Charismatic Impact, and what that would basically entail is that you would roll your Charismatic Impact, and if you get a certain DV, you can sort of win over the crowd, as it were. What that means is you don't necessarily get a whole lot of ebb for your roll, but the caveat is you start gaining reputation. You start to sort of, get your name out there, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
The other way we could do it is almost you busking, where you would roll your play instrument, and if you beat the DV, you'll get some ebb for your trouble. So which
Okay.
would you like to play it?
Well, so I'm at rank 4 for my charismatic impact, and so the DB for like a small group of fans would be like 10.
10, yeah.
According to the page here, yeah. And my rank is 4, but my play guitar bass is 12.
Mhm.
So I feel like I would be more successful in just getting some money. And besides, I don't really want these people as part of my fan base. They're just sort of like, they're rubes.
Okay.
So
All right.
they don't
Well, what I would
appreciate
say,
true
though,
art.
is if you roll a critical fail on this, let's just say you're going out the door.
that's fine. If I roll a critical failure with a 12 bonus, then like I deserve it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay, a 14 is more than sufficient. So you're going to obviously make some money here. Duke, you're also going to be rolling a 1d4. Your multiplier is only 100 ebb, though, not the 200.
Okay.
And those, very nice, 400 ebb. Sort of
Nice.
explain my thought process here. So for those who don't know, there is actually rules for the quote-unquote hustle in the main sort of rule book. Where when you don't have a job or you don't have anything to do for a week, you guys can basically do a side job, and make some ebb. It's a good idea in theory, but what I'd like to try to do, sort of using Teflon and Duke here as an example, I would like to sort of actually make it role play rather than ROLL play, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
So that's just sort of a taste for
Oh.
Teflon and Duke. Judge, Imago, and Phoenix, your time will come. Don't worry.
Good.
But yeah. So Duke,
will
go ahead.
Finish with a powerful chord that will echo out because I brought my pocket amplifier. Obviously, I'm ready to play at any moment.
Mhm.
And I will lean into the probably shitty condenser mic and say, "Thank you, Hickville. Good night."
And as you're walking out, a few people toss some ebb at you, and again, you get about 400 all said together. But hey, that's 400 ebb you didn't have before. But yeah, as you all sort of exfil from the saloon, my next question is, where do you guys go from here?
So I do have a line on the sniper rifle the judge was after, and I'm looking to get him that at a discount rate.
Okay. So I believe that would fall under the rules for your haggle, if I remember correctly.
It would. That's if Judge still wants to buy himself.
How much is it?
Well, it depends on how good a quality you want. I can get you one that might jam up. I can get you the standard, or I can get you the standard. It's up to 500.
Well, I can see that our adventure in the woods will likely, we will all benefit from having it. But I'm a little bit short on cash, to be completely frank.
Sniper rifle, just as
the rest of us got.
standard quality sniper rifle should be about 500.
500.
Mhm.
But I can get it. I can get it.
If you can front me, that'd be good, because right now I need to pay rent as well. Maybe you can help me out with the rent, Teflon.
What I would point out, just as a logistical, I mean, I totally get in character that you're trying to, not have to pay a whole lot for this, but just as a logistical thing, you do have 900 ebb each from the job, and if you do this tree thing, that's 2,000 ebb, and 2,000 is more than sufficient to pay your rent.
Yep,
So
and that was what I was about to go with.
Don't you tell me how to spend my money, all right? You didn't earn it. You weren't out there on the streets.
You take this job, you got more than enough to pay the rent, and unless you manage to pay through 900.
Can you throw in low light goggles? Maybe as a little bonus. Well, how much are the low light goggles? Because we're gonna be night fighting
They're
for
like
sure.
500 each as well.
yeah, I'm trying to
There's
find them real
certainly no
quick.
way I'm throwing them in because they're ridiculous. You have to buy smart goggles.
Yeah, it looks like smart glasses is what we want here.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah,
500.
smart
Or
glasses,
just those classic infrareds, right? That you.
and then on top of that, you then got to buy the cyber.
So we'd be looking what, 1,000 ebs? Yeah, I got 920. If you can front me 80.
Well, actually, it's a funny thing that you say that because best I read hustle here. If he pulls off this hustle, the total price is actually only going to be 910.
Ooh.
You could always
So-
run in, buy a roll of duct tape and a flashlight.
That's kind of what I'm on. That's kind of what I'm on.
The old
If I
school.
fail the hustle, I'll chuck in here.
The Doom 3 method.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
paint a big target on your back. I mean, I'd rather take the surprise, to be honest.
Fair enough.
If I fail the hustle, I'll chuck in the 8.
Very kind of you. All right, so the way this is going to work is this will be your cool plus your trading skill plus your operator rank plus a d10 versus something I roll. So I'm going to say that your contact with the sniper rifle is going to have, let's give him a 10 bonus overall. So he's just rolling a 1d10 plus 10. Your number to beat is an 18.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, don't roll a 1. I start at 18.
Oh, good. Yeah, don't roll a 1.
Come
Now
on,
the,
baby. Come on. Come on.
Wow, you
Hey.
critical.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go big or go
You
home,
got
right?
it, my man.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So I'm going to tell you what, because you got a 33 on that, I'm actually going to say that it's not going to be 910. I'll give you 860. How does that sound?
That
Tell you
sounds
what.
good. And I'll even pass that entire extra on to Judge.
Well, that's generous. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I got a sniper rifle and some goggles. Is that correct?
You have. However, we do need to get you some sniper rifle bullets.
Yeah, that was my next thing, is where you're getting the bullets from.
Yeah, well, I'm sure this guy can probably meet up with some bullets as well.
2 mags, 1 mag. I mean,
I
how,
tell
how
you
many
what.
bullets does how many bullets does
They
it
only
have?
hold
Like
4
5?
rounds apiece,
Yeah, 4.
so I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let me
get-
look.
Sniper rifle holds 4 rounds.
I mean, hell, if you want just basic ammo, that would be just 40 ebb, so you would be back up to 900.
I can get you a discount on that as well.
Let's do it this way. I'll give you 8 regular, but it'll be for 40. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so the total price on that is going to be 900. All right. So, you sort of narratively, what we'll flavor that as is Teflon calls up a guy calls another guy, puts you in touch with him. You sort of meet up in a back alley somewhere, and a guy opens up the trunk of the car, shows you a sniper rifle. You know, you pass over the ebb, he passes over the rifle and a few extras, and both of you sort of drive away. At this point, it is probably about mid-afternoon in Night City. Which, again, it's a fairly nice day. No rain, no real rain clouds in your future.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I know, right?
Right?
Well, I guess I better make a call to this Mr. Smith.
All right. So, again, same sort of question. Are you going to put him on speaker, or are you going to sort of have a one-sided conversation?
I'm using a burner phone. I will put him on speaker. I'm not interested in. I don't try and screw over my team.
Is this
Understandable.
in the car on the drive back?
Yeah, on the drive back to your apartment.
Yeah.
So,
But after all of this, I know Judge has to make rent. So I mean,
yeah. All right, so the phone rings, and picking up on the second ring is quote-unquote Mr. Smith. Now, Mr. Smith is almost sounds a little bit British. My British accent in real life is terrible, but I'm going to try it anyway. And Mr. Smith says, well, that's no, that's not British. Hold on.
He says that?
No, that's me out of character. Hold on. Well, it's quite a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. I understand you might be interested in my forest job. Is that about right?
well, you know, Aria did suggest that you were looking for competent professionals.
That is quite correct, and it's a good thing that you mentioned Arya, because otherwise I was going to be very concerned where you got my number. Well, let me be blunt. Biotechnica has some forests that are being hit by wood pirates. These wood pirates are cutting down our valuable trees and more or less stealing our valuable seeds. We thought it was Greenfist at first, but somebody out there really does not want us growing these trees. What I can tell you is that these pirates have mostly hit at night, and because the forests are largely unattended, it makes for, well, easy hits. So your job is to obviously stop these pirates and find out who is funding them. As far as whether or not we want them alive or dead, I really don't give two shits.
Okay. And let's talk finances.
Well, I am willing to give you a grand total of 2,000 ebb per person, and I will not charge you for room and board while you are here.
And when you're saying room and board, let's get to specifics on that before we go any further.
You will be residing in a firewatch tower. There is food there. There is amenities there. Nothing super fancy, but it is serviceable. We are basically letting you reside there for free. And if you have a netrunner among you, or a tech, What I would say is that we also have drones that you might be able to use to keep watch upon the forest.
Uh-huh. And when we're talking food, I assume, obviously, Biotechnic, we're talking at least food pack.
Let's just say that you would have freeze-dried packets of food. It's not kibble, but it's better than nothing.
How long are we talking about this?
As long as it takes you to find those pirates.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. I mean, yeah, all sounds quite good, but I feel it might be stringing us along a little here on your finances. I'm pretty sure you've got slightly deeper pockets than that. Because I'm now working on the fact that I'm now selling our services, and therefore I can make a hustle roll to get 10% more.
I'm not going to give you a hustle roll, but what I will give you is, let me look at the skill list here, because I think there's an actual skill for this.
It's trading. It's hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So it is your trading social skill. Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Let me just grab that.
22?
Yep.
So he thinks over your argument for a moment and says, "Very well, I am willing to go to 2250, but not an ebb more. And let me be clear on one very important thing. For every tree that you let the pirates destroy, maim, or otherwise deface, I'm subtracting 100 ebb from each of your totals."
And let me be clear. You're talking about a forest and us in a single fire tower. There is no way we can watch every part of that forest, and therefore there is no way we will ever accept such a loaded deal.
There's a pause, and eventually Smith comes back and says, "Very well, I will lower that to 50 per tree, but not an ebb less. Our product is very valuable."
I'm sure that it is. Just how big is this forest before we go any further, as you define it?
So, out of character, if you will imagine sort of a, I'm trying to convert this into metric units real quick. If you want to imagine about a kilometer squared, maybe 1.5 kilos squared is about right. So it's still a big area, and it still takes you... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, on an area that sort of size, quite honestly, there's no way that Teflon goes.
Right.
Because there is no way that you can prevent that from...
Nah, can't hear you. You went real quiet there.
Sorry, there's actually no way. If you're in a fire tower in the middle, there's no way you can prevent them from causing damage in some way or other before you can get there.
Right.
It's not possible. So I'm going to say, as Teflon, he would categorically just go, well, I will not partake in that deal. Others want to, that's it.
I think at this point, even with your good roll, I think Smith is going to be very... I think he's going to stick to his 50 per tree, his 50 ebb off per tree. Seems like he's a very stubborn individual.
Well, it's open to the others. They're on speakerphone. I won't be taking that because we could easily lose the entire payment.
Put it off speaker for a second. Put it off speaker.
Alright, so Teflon takes it off speaker for a moment.
We can always just negotiate this after we do it. We can argue as much as we want, but let's just see if any trees get destroyed first. That's a hurdle we can cross when we get there.
I mean, if you're saying he's got drones there, like, at least we'd know where they were, but stopping them beforehand is like, I mean, if you're talking...
We could just give them the business and say, hey, that was like that when we got here.
Oh yeah, they'll fall for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Edit the drone footage, splice in the picture, change the date. that tree was filled with bullet holes by the time we got here.
Oh,
Hey,
or
wow.
we can change the deal and say that we're going to go on the offensive. If these pirates that are attacking the trees are the source of what we need to protect, then we might as well kill the source, right?
That's not a bad idea. We go hunting. We prevent them from damaging any trees before they get a wild hair up their arse.
Well, yeah, apart from the fact that they know nothing about the pirates.
Well, that's what
They
they
will
pay
soon
us for,
enough.
right?
That's our job.
I mean,
Right.
as long as we've got some form of a map to show us where they hit recently, it's not like they're gonna just start randomly picking different places to go cutting down trees. I
You
mean,
got 7 days to figure it out.
I mean,
Well,
it just changes the terms of the engagement, right? It switches the protection of the trees, removes that clause that you're so comfortable with, Teflon, and we potentially might get more money even out of this.
If you guys want to go hunting, then we can do that. But
I
just
mean,
looking
that's
at
probably the better
hunting.
option.
Even with a drone, there's no way we're going to stop. There's no point in negotiating for a better deal for it to basically come crashing down on us, because you just said caused any harm. That's a single bullet.
That's what I mean, right?
That'll grow back. They won't notice.
You remove that from the equation by changing the deal and making it more suitable.
No, we can go hunting, but if you
Do
want
we
to do
know what kind of damage we're talking about here? Because, I mean, a few bullets in a tree isn't going to kill it. But if we're talking like a forest fire, that's an entirely different fucking problem, right?
Or explosives.
Yeah, I mean, if all we know is that they're cutting these trees down to get the seeds and they don't want people planting them, like, that tells me that they're taking their time to cut these trees down. They're not just, like, shooting them. So damage is relative based on the damage that they're expecting. A few bullets here and there, that's not worth 50M. But if we're talking like they're able to cut a tree down, or they're able to like kill it because they're like injecting it with something, then yeah, maybe I could get that. But a couple of bullets, like, come on. It doesn't take a genius, like, and she'll just kind of like half look at Imago to like maybe understand that there are some things that are just not that bad.
Yeah, look, I'm willing to do it, but with some very clear defined things. But
No, understood. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we get the language right, if we get them to say, this is the requirements for damage, right? If we get them to nail down, then later, if things go south, we can wriggle around the legal definition, let's say.
so take it off speaker and go. So look, ultimately, before we go any further, you need to now define on the phone
Right.
what damage. What do you mean by damage?
Well, we're talking missing branches, any carving into the trees, any actual trees being felled. I don't much care if a bullet or two goes wide, but if you start throwing grenades around, that's a different story.
Take it back onto mute, and up to you guys ultimately, because we're all in this together. If you're happy with that as a definition of damage,
And
I
she
can
just
live with
like
that.
Phoenix just kind of shrugs, just like I said, like a few bullets, that's not going to be a big deal for trees. I mean, come on. That's like saying like I put a bunch of gum on the side of a concrete building. That's not hard to get off, man.
I just carry on with the idea of we define the battlefield, we define the point of encounter far away from the forest. And our job is to investigate where those pirates are. And we change the terms to that. We go hunting instead of protecting the trees, because of accepting this clause of damages. I mean, he just taps at his grenade on the side of his belt. You know, when shit hits the fan, you know, survival comes first, doesn't it?
So yeah, there's no need to. You don't have to change the definition of anything else on the dick. That's what you have to remember.
Mm.
Whether we go hunting and find the guys and take them out in their base, or we wait until they come in, doesn't matter.
Well,
Still protected the trees.
yeah, that's right. Their base is not within tree place destruction potential.
No, we hope not.
We hope not. It's true.
I think it
Or
sounds like a
fine.
good deal, and I don't think we'll have a big problem as long as we can, you know, find him quickly and then go on the
Alright.
hunt, like Judge says.
Then I will flip it off mute and go, fine, you've got a deal, Mr. Smith.
Very good. If you would provide your current location, I will have one of our corporate buses pick you up for your trip north.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck, no. Absolutely not. Can he hear me? Oh, you're
I
on
mean, he's
Yeah.
on speaker, so yeah.
No. I am not traveling in one of those fucking tin cans ever. All right?
Add a character. When Smith says corporate bus, he means a VTOL. He doesn't mean like an actual wheeled vehicle. He means a VTOL.
It means we get there quickly, rather than
Mhm.
having to...
Yeah, we're going in via air,
Fine.
not via the ground.
Sweet fucking Christ. All right, that's fine. If you're going to actually send a goddamn bus my way, absolutely not. I have standards.
Is there any chance we can get tactical maps of the forest?
Yeah, and I'm gonna cover that
Mhm.
when we come back from break. But I think with the deal
Perfect.
already agreed to, I think this is where we will take our 10-minute break. So we will be back momentarily. Stick around, stream. And welcome back, everybody. If you're just tuning in, quick summary of the first half of the session. Well, the players sort of talked about their next options moving forward. They got the details of a lucrative job offer, went and did a little bit of arms dealing, a little bit of trading, and now they are currently being flown via quote-unquote corporate bus VTOL to Northern California. So, to set the scene here, you all have been flying for about maybe an hour, hour and a half at this point, and the sort of almost strange scenes you're seeing out of the windows of the corporate bus. When you get outside of Night City, it's kind of barren. Lots of browns, lots of dust, lots of mountains, because that's kind of how the Fourth Corporate War left things. But the more you go north, the further and further you go, the more bits of greenery you're seeing. And eventually, you get to the point where you're seeing just these rolling hills of trees. Now, when you start to come to a stop and the VTOL begins to lower, what you see out of the windows is a actually very dense forest. This is very obviously a engineered forest. The trees are all in very neat lines. They are equal distant from one another. It's extremely obvious that this is by design and not sort of random forest growing. What I would also say is it's very obvious that this has been, maybe it looks like about 10, 20 years of growth, but based on what Smith has told you so far, this is a new, like, maybe 2-3 year forest. So maybe that's why the pirates want these trees. Maybe there's something at play there. But as you're all thinking about that, the VTOL eventually touches down on a helipad in the northern corner, the northwest corner of this map. And waiting for you as you all step out of the VTOL is a almost like a park ranger. Has sort of a mahogany jacket and shorts. Has a sort of stereotypical ranger hat. It's not quite a trilby. It's not quite a cowboy hat. It's somewhere in the middle. But Smith, quote unquote, just sort of walks up to all of you and says, "Well, you're a very colorful bunch. I'm Mr. Smith, as it were. Welcome to Reference Forest RF003.
Got you.
Mhm.
Yes, we haven't really thought of a good name for it, but such as it is. Anyway, and he sort of points to the southeast, where you see that there is a path into the forest, and he says, "You're going to have to hike about an hour down that path, but you will arrive at the Firewatch Tower there. As I said, there's food, there's water, there's amenities of sorts. If you have any questions, I am available on radio from the Firewatch Tower. And as promised, I have given you access codes to the drones. They are waiting for you in the Firewatch Tower. The other thing that I've gotten via your request is a map." And he sort of pulls out one of those fold-out maps from one of his pockets and sort of looks at all of you and sort of looks at Judge last and just kind of hands it over to the Judge.
I take it and I ask, could you please point out where the last attacks took place?
Of course, of course.
Maybe there is a pattern.
And yeah, so I'm going to draw in red here. So the first attack was going to be that red square there. The second red attack is going to be this red here. The third here. So they're moving pretty much from left to right, if that makes sense.
What's the range on these drones?
The drones are actually able to cover the entire forest. They're heavy-duty drones. If you had a tech on your team, I would say you probably could have just rigged a gun onto them and had the drones just handle your problem for you.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things. It is one of those things where the drones are meant for sort of heavy battery use, so they can stay aloft for quite a while.
Is there a way to, like, maybe rig... is there a way to, like, maybe rig, like, a virus or something like that that could be used against others like cyberware, like if it's in the area, it sends it out kind of like an EMP pulse, but instead it would be more like a virus that would like infect the like anybody's like cyberware or something like that to like shut stuff down.
I'm trying to think if there's a good way to do that. I would say that again, if you had a tech on your team, I would say yes. But even, and this is something I remember seeing Jay Gray talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of those things where hacking cyberware is meant to be one of those one-off things. Like, it's not like Shadowrun where, you know, you could just hack into an arm and mess with it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Rules.
Well-
I mean, literally, there is a sidebar in there that go in the net rules section that says basically agents and cyberware and whatever operate on a completely different way and can't be hacked in that way by a netrunner because they have no net architecture.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the med tech, maybe. I mean, we have a chemist.
Actually, you know what? That's perfect.
Yes.
Imago, do you think that there might be a way that you could like synth up some sort of like sleeping agent or something like that, or
Okay,
like
do you
a
want-
paralyzing agent?
We got sleeping, we got death. Which one do you want?
Let's start with sleeping, and then we can shoot them once we get up to them, if we have to.
Okay.
Remember, they
okay.
do want us to actually find out who.
Right. So we need to know who the hell is doing this first, and then once we know, you know.
So taking at least one alive is probably a good idea.
Yeah. You get
She
me.
kind of makes like an A symbol with her hand. She's just like, I mean, we all know what happened last time, but yeah, for sure.
We don't talk about that.
I know.
I could
Oh, well.
hypothetically get us some chloral hydrate. I mean, did it before. I'll do it again.
I mean, if we could rig something up to the drones, I can send the drones out, see what's going on, and if we find where they're at, I can just drop them on site. And then we can just move out based on the vicinity.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not. Out of interest, and not so much for me, but because we've got a med tech and a netrunner, and they both might have it. Are we talking basic tech for this, ELH or ELF? Sorry, or
That's a good question.
I used to make
Well,
RC
so I
bombs.
actually-
I can try.
I mean, I've got electronics and security tech, so
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the best skill for this. Let me think on it for a little bit.
Okay.
Let's get you guys into the forest and to the actual Firewatch Tower, and that'll give
Sure.
me some time to think about it.
oh,
plus that'll give us a
absolutely.
chance to sort of take stock on what's actually in the tower that
Mhm.
we can try to make stuff with based on what we have available.
Exactly.
You've got an entire forest. I mean, you know.
I
surely
mean,
I'm-
also fair.
yeah.
All right. So you all begin to take your hour walk or hike into the forest, and mostly for flavor, I'd like everybody to please roll me a athletics here, just to represent. Or
What?
actually, you know what? Not athletics. Give me an endurance here, because I think endurance would be a better skill for this than athletics.
Oh,
Ooh.
boy.
Yikes.
Endurance.
That was not the roll I needed. But hey, you know what? At least it wasn't a 1.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a 1.
At least it wasn't a 1.
All right, so Phoenix has a 9, Judge has an 18, Duke has an 18, Imago has a 9, so
Yeah,
actually Duke
26,
has a
actually.
26.
Yeah.
Okay, so narratively what this all translates to is about 30 minutes in, Phoenix and Imago,
Yep.
you guys are absolutely miserable.
Yep.
Sweat is like almost pouring out of your pores. There's sort of not quite a sweat stain, but some sort of moisture that's collected on your shirts and your backs. It's no bueno. You're having a rough time of it.
I'm
Um,
moist.
Teflon, you're a little bit better than they are. I mean, you're still sweating a little bit, but you're not like drenched in it, kind of a thing. Judge, this is just, you know, your average walk in the park, not a big deal. Duke, on the other hand, Duke, you just sort of look back at everybody else and you're like, what the fuck are you people doing?
I mean,
Whistling about.
Captain's, Captain Stamina is fucking supposed to be the one that can last, right? That's the whole. That's like the whole fucking sheen of his gig, right? Rocker boy, he's got to go all night. Makes a lot of sense to me. This tracks. This tracks.
It gets really, really hot in those clubs. Everybody packed up together and all the electronics and everything.
I mean, actually, those roles kind of almost make perfect sense.
They really do. And now, as we continue your trek onward, I'm going to roll a D100 for something.
Also,
Okay.
everyone's like, Phoenix, you look built. It's like, what? Oh, these? Oh no, this is spray on.
Oh, Lord. All right, so I have good news and bad news. The good
All right.
news is that you are able to make it to the Firewatch Tower. The bad
Yay.
news is it starts raining pretty much the second you arrive.
Ah.
So, to sort of set the scene for a Firewatch Tower, for those who haven't seen one before, if
Is
you
this
imagine... Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Just a quick one. Is this normal rain or red?
Oh, no, it's red rain. It's red rain.
Oh.
So a Firewatch Tower is basically a 2 to 3 story sort of watchtower that you would expect to see in like a normal real life forest. The first two or three stories are just sort of scaffolding and other supports for the Firewatch Tower. The actual sort of room itself is just a big open room at the very top that you have to kind of go upstairs to get to. What you see before you ascend up to the tower itself is the following. The first is that there is a rain catcher at the bottom, sort of like a trough, but there's some sort of filter over it so that, animals don't come up and drink it, and so that, debris doesn't fall into your rain catcher. The other thing that you notice is that apparently the only sort of, shall we say, relief amenity is an outhouse that you can already smell being about 10-20 meters away. So probably hasn't been cleaned in a while. That's what you got going on for that. As you ascend up the stairs, there are a few ominous creaks and groans, but it supports you just fine. It's not like a certain fire escape, as it were. And when you arrive at the top, what you see inside are several things. The first is that there is an actual solar panel on the roof of the tower that's providing your power. The second thing you notice is that there are a number of computers inside. There's about 2 or 3 computers, terminals, that are showing not only communications, but they're also sort of feeding in information from drones and other security sensors.
Oh, nice.
The other thing that you're
That'll come in
noticing
handy.
is that there's an actual seismograph, which, if you don't know what that is, it's more or less something that tracks the vibrations in the ground, kind of a thing. So it's not quite like an earthquake detector, but if something like were to drive a very heavy vehicle, for example, that might be picked up by this thing. Now, in terms of amenities, there appear to be a bunch of hammocks, like old style, like rope hammocks. They don't really look all that well made. And just looking at them, you're thinking if you have a cyber limb, you're probably going to want to sleep on the floor unless you want to fall out in the middle of the night, kind of a thing.
That's all right. That's why I always have my carry-all with an inflatable bed and sleeping bag in it.
There you go.
Ta-da.
Let's see if there's anything else I should mention here. Oh, yes. There is a container that has a transparent front. You do see freeze-dried packets of food in there, as was promised. You do not see a sink. You do not see a stove. All you see besides what I've mentioned so far are 2 metal folding chairs. And that's all that is in this Firewatch Tower.
What's the view like?
Oh, the view. I left out the best part. The view is amazing. You've never seen this much green before in your lives. It's that sort of stunning, where you're sort of looking out onto a sea of greenery, and it's almost not flat, but there are like little hills, so it's almost like literal waves of the green coming at you if you look at it the right way. You also see and hear that there are actual animals running around. So maybe actual birds that have somehow survived to this time of the red. Maybe even some smaller animals like maybe some foxes or maybe some some of the smaller sort of quadrupeds. But for the most part, it's kind of a sort of a serene retreat, if you will.
So, I mean, pulling out my binoculars and looking out down towards where the attacks have happened, what I'm interested in is from this fire tower, is it literally are we just blanket treetops and therefore we can't see anything on the ground, or can we see on the, can we actually see things on the ground?
Well, as I said earlier, the trees are done in not random fashion, but in a planned fashion. And it happens to be one of those things where if you look out to the northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest, so basically the diagonals, you actually have clear line of sights down the rows, so you can see to the ground of the trees. But what that means is when you look to the north, the south, the east, the west, you really can't see the ground at all.
But if we were looking, sorry, let me get a...
Also, I did fix distances on the map, so the map should now be accurate distances.
Just to get it right, I'm looking at the reference sheet. The sniper rifle has a DV of 20 to hit anything between 401 to 800 meters. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Correct.
That means, because I was just doing the using the ruler. Are we around 600 meters away from the fire tower towards the next? Okay, so with the sniper rifle, this is within range, basically.
Correct.
That is good, because I will set up a nest and follow suit and look through the scope.
Given the fact that we are, if we've gone 1, 2, 3, we can kind of, expectation would be this would be the one that's going to be hit next.
Most likely, yes.
As a deduction, without making a deduction, well, that kind of seems to be likely that is the one that will get hit next. So A, you can shoot that from the tower, which is good. B, because of the angle of direction, we can see a clear line of sight down the rows of trees, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I guess the other thing we need to understand, and given our rocker boy is so fresh and obviously au fait with long hikes, that maybe finding out how long it takes to get from the tower to there would be a really good idea.
Calculate an hour approximately. It's very similar distance to the helipad ish.
It is. I just don't see the same number of paths.
Mm-hmm. This is more likely thicker forest as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go with you, Duke, if you want. Although I'd say we should wait until the rain stops, ideally.
You're probably better suited up here, Judge. Tell you what, Margot, you come with me.
Don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll wait till this rain blows over, then we'll have a little hike, shall we?
So, not because I'm actually going to describe what this is going to entail, but just out of curiosity, which one of you had a lot to drink recently?
I was on water.
I hesitate to answer this question.
I'm basically getting at who's the first one that has to brave the toilet, as it were.
Oh, yeah, water. Water makes you definitely, for sure.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Judge, again, I'm not going to go into super detail. When you go inside to relieve yourself, you notice that there's actually something inside already. Like, you do that thing, the smart thing, where you check down the hole. There's a body down there.
Oh. Whoa. Can I see what kind of body it is? Kind of just holding a little bit my nose and look through.
Do you have a flashlight? Because it is kind of dark down there.
I have the low light smart glasses.
Ah, that is correct. I remember that.
That'll
now.
work.
So you're looking at it, And I would actually like you to roll me. Let's have you do a deduction here. I think a
Deduction.
deduction would be a good roll for this.
Trying to find it. Oh yeah, I'm very good at deducing. Let's see, +5. Yeah, 7.
A 7.
It's a body, all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
you
that is a body.
from this angle and this distance and this light, even with your low lights, can't really make out what's going on with the body.
Well, I ain't picking that shit up. I'll let the guys know. I'll walk my way up again and say, yo, there is a body in
Like-
the toilet.
A body or a dead body?
A dead body. It
Did you
definitely.
check?
No.
Well, I'm gonna
welcome
get
to-
down there.
React when
Yes.
you did your business.
She's like,
Well-
yes, that's fine.
I was doing it. I mean, it now
I
it's
was
dredged.
gonna, but I kind of,
No,
missed. and
I
now
went
I have
through.
wet
I-
pants.
I went through with it. So the
Uh-huh.
body has a little bit of my DNA on it.
All right, so Imago, you come out of the tower and you go to inspect it yourself. And Imago, since you're an actual med tech, I would like you to roll me a. I would say honestly, this could be one of many rolls. This could be potentially your surgery. This could potentially be your first aid. This might even be one of those things where it could be your own deduction. There's many different skills that could apply here in my mind.
Maybe a little bit of contortionist to actually get into the hole.
Contortion.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
that's a fair
Athletics,
argument.
Would you okay, let's see. It's like, is it just pure perception or like what I've learned about like bodies? Because I could use like,
What you're not seeing me is doing air quotes around the term learned, but
would you take? All right, there was a number of years he was in education. Would you accept education?
I could give you education too, yeah.
All right, that's cool. All right, let's not fuck this up, he says as he prepares to fuck this up. Yay. Okay, I'll live with that.
Actually, a
That's not bad.
17 is more than sufficient. This poor bastard's alive.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no.
I start taking off my duffel bag and I'm like, none of you speak of this. And I'm gonna.
I get my agent out and just surreptitiously take my agent out and start filming.
before I shame myself.
This is just like Afterlife, man.
Before I shame myself and my dad, does anybody have like a rope or something I can tie around this poor bastard?
I do. I toss you one.
Okay. Before I mangle this, do you also know how to tie like a body-shaped knot? I'll do it, but like I don't do knots. It's not my thing. Wasn't into ropes.
Just put the damn thing around the waist and yank. How hard is it?
I don't want to kill the poor bastard. It's like, what if he got shot in this? You know what? Fine. All right.
Look,
fine.
he's currently living in a fucking toilet. I think he'd rather die. So
Okay. So I'm going to strip down to my undershirt because I like this coat and I'm not getting another one.
that's fair.
And how far down is it in the latrine?
Maybe about 2-3 meters.
2, 3. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Can I like secure a rope around him, like around his waist, from where I am?
From where you are upstairs, no, you're gonna have to go down there and
Okay.
You're gonna have to get a little bit of a handle on the business. If
Okay.
you know what
So
I'm
I'm going to then take all my clothing off and place it away from the latrine.
Mhm.
And I have to take 2 nitrile gloves on. And that's all I have on. And I turn around, snap, look at them. Never speak of this. Swear to sweet Jesus Christ. We're going to have a problem.
Phoenix is just gonna slowly lower her goggles. Yeah.
And
No talking,
Yeah,
right?
I, in
Everyone's
high
like,
spirits,
yeah. As he
lower
pops a
myself
cigarette
lower myself in the depths of Golgotha.
and
I'd like you to
lights
roll me a contortionist, please, as you
Oh my
wiggle your
god.
way down.
Okay. Oh my god. This is gonna suck.
I knew I should have taken contortionist.
Yeah, I didn't think. I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, contortionist. Yeah, that's gonna be real useful.
I originally had points in contortionist, but
I mean,
yeah.
All right, you know what? I don't feel like getting face deep in the muck anytime soon, so I'm gonna pour a little bit of luck into this.
all right. That's probably the safe bet.
A
Okay.
13. The DB
Okay,
was
nice.
12. So instead of face planting,
Hey,
instead of
You wanna
face
be
planting
glad
into
you
the
put
muck,
that luck in there.
we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
so instead of face planting into the muck, you sort of do one of those things, and I maybe should have probably described it initially. You to sort of get down into the latrine, the seat, quote unquote, you can kind of pull up, and it is a more open hole that you can get into. So you kind of do one of those things where you sort of not vault over the side, but you still have a grip on that lip, and you sort of lower yourself down. There's a small little drop, maybe about a couple feet, if that, as you sort of hit the quote unquote ground. But you're down there now.
Knee deep,
Christ almighty,
baby.
this is foul. And I am not about to be a paramedic in the fucking shit. I am up Shit's Creek. The paddle's gone. I'm gonna hey, why don't you come over and help me get this guy out? And I'm going to secure the rope around his midsection right here, around his arms, and I'm gonna try to hoist him up so someone up ahead can help me get this guy out.
Yeah, I can give it a tug.
Yeah, Judge, you found him. You yank him.
So much phrasing this episode. So
Oh my
much
God.
fucking phrasing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
And I'm a goat is not being let back anywhere near this fire tower until he's hiked to one of those lakes and had a wash.
Just hide his clothes.
I've actually stood over them with a lit cigarette and a zipper.
Oh, God.
Excellent.
All right, so because I find it funny, Judge, and yes, this food, do you remember where the rules are for assists? Because I looked the other day and I couldn't find anything for assists.
There aren't actually any formal rules. By assisting, what it actually lets you do is get a reroll. on a
Okay.
failure.
Advantage. It's like D&D.
Oh, it's advantage D&D and 5th ed.
Okay.
That's awesome because
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love that
I-
mechanic.
I've kind of house ruled it that an assist will, depending on what it is, generally give something like a +1 to your dice roll.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it came up in Wednesday where I was like, yeah, there's not really a good roll for assist. Let's just call it a blanket +2 kind of a thing.
I mean, that's pretty much 5e also, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Let's do this. I will give you the +2 on this. Judge, you're going to be rolling a athletics here. What I would say, though, is if you do roll below the DV, something is going to happen to you, and something's going to happen to Imago.
Oh, good.
You're gonna end up pulling me into this shit, man. That's all
This
right.
hole ain't big enough for the two of us.
I know. Three of us.
The three of you.
Three of
Come on.
us.
There's
Oh,
still
boy,
another
three's a
dude
party.
down there.
Yeah.
You're
All
Oh,
right.
all bloody
boy.
hiking.
All right.
There,
All right.
there are no atheists in shitholes.
Athletics.
An 18. An 18 is more than sufficient.
Plus 2, right? That's the 20. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
20,
you're
yeah.
good. So Judge and Imago working together, there's kind of a sickening sort of squelch noise as you pull the poor bastard out of the muck, and you get him back up out of the latrine. Imago, you get back up and walk outside the latrine, and to sort of set the scene for everybody else. So Duke, Phoenix, Teflon. Imago isn't covered in it, but his lower parts, or at least the bottom part of his knees down, are just brown. It's still the red rain, so he's just coated in red moisture. The dude you pulled out is coated almost from head to toe in muck. He too is coated in the red rain. Judge, you just have to deal with the red rain, but to say you are a sight for, let's just say you're a sight.
I'm just glad that none of you are currently erect.
I haven't actually looked that closely.
Could we maybe not? That'd be great. I would really appreciate that.
All right, Imago, check the body.
Okay, I'm switching out nitrile gloves. Awkward sound of snapping as I pull
Smart.
the other two off, throw those back down the hole, and reapply.
Mhm.
And can I roll paramedic to see what this dude's deal is?
You may certainly roll a paramedic.
All right, let's roll paramedic.
A 23. So, what's going to
Well-
happen is, as you're checking this guy out, you see that he has some form of a sedative in his system. And he probably will come around on his own in a few hours. But as you're checking him out, you sort of have a sense of deja vu, where you're looking at the guy's face, and again, it's mucked up. There's stuff on it, but eventually you look back at his face and you think back, you've seen this person before. This is Mr. Smith, but how can it be Mr. Smith?
Fucking clones.
It's biotechnica. There's biosculpting. There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
I swear to God, this better not be another fucking Falcon.
Oh man.
Falcon.
ELH knows
So-
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
So-
about.
If he's dead, that means we're not getting paid, right?
Well, we talked to his other brother, right?
How
We
long
talked
is
to
he-
another
how
Mr.
long-
Smith.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're related.
How long has he been down here? Come on.
I would say with a 23, Amago, your guess is he's maybe been down there a couple days.
We're talking powerful sedative. He's been out a couple days. We're seeing
only
signs of
spoke
dehydration,
to-
bit of malnutrition. I don't know malnutrition. I'm not a nutritionist. All I know is he's been down there for a while, and judging by the layer covering him, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is pretty clear foul play. We're talking sedatives and,
So it's a
Well-
body dump.
yeah, this looks like a clear body dump to me. If I really wanted to, I could take a blood sample, analyze it, but that seems like a bit excessive.
Maybe a stool sample.
He's not
Absolutely
gonna
not.
mind. Shall we get him inside? He might tell us something if we get him to talk.
Yeah, wake
Yeah,
him
we
up
do.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, remember the guy we spoke to who made us the deal, we only spoke to him about 5 hours ago.
Wait a minute. I've got just the thing. And I'll move back into the sort of the main room, right,
Mhm.
of the Firewatch Tower, and I will get into my little sort of, we'll say it's a satchel. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And I will retrieve a dose of synth coke. which
Oh,
is a-
Christ and clump. This is not.
Look,
I want to bump that.
regulated.
All right, so we get this right in his system. He wakes the fuck up. He's feeling great. Doesn't mind about the shit. And he tells us what we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does not look critically wounded or anything, right? He's just sedated.
Yeah, he's just sedated.
That's
As a
great
chemist
idea,
and a doctor, is there any way like I can, with my air hypo, like regulate the dose so it wakes him up but doesn't either kill him or just fuck him up for life?
It would require a roll, but yes.
All right.
nice.
You want me to,
Let's go.
You want me to roll a paramedic or chemist for that?
I think chemist would apply here.
Okay.
Also food, I did see that. Thank you. So it is a +1.
That is a plus one. Good. Okay.
Okay.
I knew these 6 points would come in handy.
Hello,
Just-
child. Go on. Yeah, I know.
21 is more than sufficient. Yeah, so Amago, using the offered drug, as it were, you slowly regulate the dose and bring the guy back without any long-term effects. Obviously, short-term, he's going to be a little loopy. But as his eyes flutter open, he sort of looks around at all of you and says, "The hell are you where am I?"
That's a really good question.
Who are you?
I'm... Oh, God, why is it hard for me to think right now? And he kind of grips his head, and he says, "Why do I smell like shit?"
We'll get to that in a bit.
Right.
Apparently, you decided to outhouse scuba dive.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, we'll get
Apparently,
to that
you were
right now.
drugged.
Well, let me ask you this. What day do you think it is?
Tuesday? Side note, it's Friday.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's Friday, my good dude.
Friday. Oh. And you kind of see the realization dawn on his face. We're in RF, and he kind of looks out the window. RF3?
Mm-hmm.
003.
Oh dear. Let me guess, you guys were hired for a job?
That is correct.
Oh, absolutely, we were by somebody who looks strikingly similar to you, minus the shit, of course.
Well, I would certainly
Of
hope
course.
so. I don't really know how to tell you this, but I think this is a setup.
Oh, good. It's another Falcon.
Oh, no shit,
Fuck.
it's a setup.
Sorry,
Oh.
I don't really do the words good when I've apparently just been pulled out of Shit Creek. But
You
no,
also
sorry,
want
I should be a little
a
bit more
good bit of-
grateful. Be a
You're
little
also
bit
on a
more
pretty
grateful.
good-sized dose of synth coke, so
Oh, is that what that is?
Medicated dose.
That
right,
would
medicated.
I am a
Yeah.
doctor.
Air
Medicinal-
quotes,
medicinal
medicated
synth-
I am a
dose.
doctor.
Medicinal synth coke, man. That's good.
that would be why I feel like I'm tripping balls right now. Okay.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So, what
When
do you remember
say
last?
setup,
Well,
what do you mean?
to answer two of those questions at once, Tuesday was when I had a representative from the, shall we say, northern investors from Washington that invest in Biotechnica. And one of them is my twin brother.
They were related. Told you, Duke.
Ah,
All right,
that
you
makes
got
a lot
lucky.
of sense. You got lucky.
But again, if I'm here and I was in Shit Creek, I mean, I can't really put two and two together right now because I'm seeing bubbles and pink elephant shit everywhere, but
What was it?
Well-
What are you talking about? Did you put something in that, Imago? It's just fucking cocaine.
It's just fucking cocaine. I swear. Hey, Rocker
Everybody
boy, you sure that
reacts
wasn't
differently to
PCP?
everything.
No, it's not bloody PC. Listen, Mr. Other Shitsmith, whatever your name is.
my name is McKennell. Mr. McKennell.
Fine, what I don't care.
I don't care.
It's
Ah.
clear that you have some kind of head trauma because that shit is just good for getting you jazzed up and rock hard. So if there's anything else going on, it's not the drugs' fault.
Well,
I mean,
You are
could it be a
suffering from severe dehydration. I should mention this.
It could
Oh.
also be a lovely reaction between the drugs that you've given him and the drugs he was given before.
mhm.
Let's get back to why you think this is a setup just because your brother came
Well,
as an investor.
my guess, and this is just a guess, the third attack happened hours before my meeting with my twin brother. And this is just a hunch I have, but I have a feeling that my brother is the one behind, and he gets out the words behind when his head literally explodes.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, fuck.
Fucking hell.
I didn't
and
do that.
it-
That wasn't me. I swear to God.
Yeah, I was
Get
gonna
down.
say, even
Yeah.
if you're not a med tech, what you do know is that this dude had some form of a micro bomb in his cranium.
Oh my god, a cranial bomb? Really?
So now
this
we can
is-
assume that there's
Ah.
blood, brain matter, and shit all in the interior of the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys
yeah, for
laughed
sure.
at me for taking off my pants.
Are you still naked?
Yeah, happy to hear
Oh,
that.
he
Listen,
definitely
I
is
have
still
two gloves
naked.
on.
Yeah,
have
no,
two gloves
I
on.
have gloves on. It's family friendly.
Don't touch me. I'm sterile.
Oh Lord.
He
And
said, "Don't touch me. I'm sterile." Oh, come on.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I think
For a
that's actually a good sort of semi cliffhanger for us to end today's session on, because it's gonna give you guys some things to deliberate and, guesstimate for the next coming week.
Oh man.
Damn.
That's. Oh.
Can I just give a quick look towards the? I know we just ended, but
Yeah.
I had that nagging feeling. If I take my binoculars or my sniper scope and look towards the landing pad, is the AV still there?
Nope, it's gone.
It's gone.
Well, we were supposed to be here for a week, so
I
why
know.
would they leave it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they just haven't left yet. It's been just a couple hours.
All right, so YouTube, this is where I say goodbye. Twitch, stick around for a little bit longer because we're gonna raid somebody. But YouTube, see you later.